My mother is Canadian, was born and raised in Canada. She married my father, who's American. And so I was born in Canada because my dad was out to sea at a young age. My parents told me that I told them that I wanted to be a motorcycle cop. And I think a lot of it stems from the fact that my dad was in the military for 27 years. Gathering away stuff like the raising of the flag and everybody having to stop when we're playing with all the other neighborhood kids. We have to stop, put our hand on our heart while the flag was being raised and lowered in the morning and at night is a significant experience. The desire to give back to the community, the way my father did, the selflessness that my father had. The job is very challenging, day to day. Dealing with a lot of bad things can weigh on a lot of human beings' conscious on their heart, responding to somebody who jumped off a building and killed themselves, watching somebody kill themselves. That's challenging in itself. And then you put in the confines of what's going on in the year 2020, and it's extremely difficult. For me specifically, is being half black, half white, and people perceiving me as something that I'm not, a racist or a Nazi. And we're all going through this together, right? The pandemic was significant, and then led into the civil unrest in regards to social angst, and these issues that we as a society have to deal with and address and move forward on together. I've got calls and texts and stuff from all my family about my safety and concern about what's going on. And then I have my little nephew asking me if, I'm being a violent police officer towards protesters. So the whole gamut of what we're dealing with is extremely challenging, and I would say disappointing when you think about the violence that it's resulted in, because we're not moving the country forward by using violence. It's never going to happen. My life has always been a dichotomy because of the fact that I live in two worlds, is how I would say it. I have a black family, I have a white family, and I live in this kind of in-between area. My black father can't tell me how to be a mixed young man, right? My mom can't tell me how to be a mixed-race young man growing up. 2020 it's kind of ironic that it's the magnifying glass almost about what's going on with race, because it's been a challenge my whole life. My father's been threatened, his life's been threatened. I've been told who I can date. I've been told I'm not black enough for this, I'm not white enough for that. So I think the challenge is that we go to society and we say, hey, as a society, what do we want us to be as far as policing? How do you want us to police in society? There's been a lot of people who've spoken about what we do and what we don't do. I haven't had a whole lot of people ask me why we do what we do, or what are contributing factors as to why we do what we do, or why are you guys trained to do this? Why is this happening? It's a whole lot of, hey, you guys did this. Okay, but do you know why I did this? Ultimately, at the end of the day, to me, violence is never the answer, and destroying people's property is never the answer. You have got to protect everybody's constitutional rights, and that's our job, is to protect people's constitutional rights. That's all we're trying to do. Moving forward as a country, we have to quit being so divisive. You're allowed to have your political ideologies. You're allowed to have your beliefs as a human being. Your friends should be able to have different political ideologies than you. You should be able to sit down and have a conversation with that person. A meaningful, deep conversation is still value that human being. I think that they just have a different way of wanting the world to be better. It just differs from your own.